What do you make of the firestorm that developed over the weekend around Herman Cain?
He's not denying, but he ain't responding, and that's not the best place to be. If these allegations are not true, say they aren't true and put them behind you. If not, better get everything out sooner rather than later, because in a situation like this, if there is something there, that something's going to come out.
Is that the media director of American Crossroads laughing? That's Karl Rove's third-party group that's raising a lot of money. And well, the litigator side of me comes out when I think of who benefits the most from the takedown of Herman Cain. Unsourced, no, not sourced with anonymous sources. I call that unsourced because it doesn't mean anything to me. Haven't been able to cross-examine these supposed victims of inappropriate comments. Okay? I don't know who they are. A veil of anonymity. It's so convenient to have that blanket of anonymity over it. That means no one can cross-examine you. The Constitution gives you the right to confront your accusers, not in politics. If you're someone who surges and even wins and you're not part of the establishment, they will try to destroy you one way or another. You're listening to The Laura Ingraham Show, 800-876-4123. We already have people flooding our email and flooding our Facebook page. Max has the conversation going on Facebook. Is this a treat for Cain in the end, or is it just a trick that's going to take him down? That is the conversation on Facebook. A lot of people are already saying we need to stick by Herman Cain more than ever because they don't like the sense of this. It smells like a dead rotting fish on the sidewalk that's washed up from the Potomac, one of those dirty old catfishes. Joining us now, a man who also defied elite expectations, who won the Iowa caucuses in 2008, and who had to deal with a lot of scorn and people dismissing him because he didn't look the way that the other people looked. He wasn't as slick and he wasn't as buttoned down, and he just wasn't part of the game, the Old Boys Network. Joining us now, my friend Mike Huckabee, his great show Huckabee on the weekends on the Fox News Channel. Hey, Gov, how are you?
Laura, I'm doing great. In fact, today's one of those days when you kind of sit back and say, this may be a good reason not to be a candidate for president right now.
Well, I actually think it shows you the opposite conclusion, but I'll tell you about that as we go forward in this interview. Governor, Herman Cain has been hit with something with anonymous sources. And I always say who benefits the most. I mean, how did this just land in the lap of Politico.com? Okay, I mean, it to me, I've seen this movie before. I saw it with Clarence Thomas, for whom I clerked. I saw what they did to an independent-thinking conservative black man back then. And lo and behold, as Herman Cain is up in all these polls, suddenly we have the story land with anonymous sources.
Well, it's I think to be expected. You're not seeing this kind of stuff thrown at Rick Santorum or Michelle Bachmann right now, not because they aren't good candidates, but because they're not surging and they don't pose an immediate, or let me use the term, they are not a clear and present danger to some of the top front runners and to the special interests that fund them. Herman Cain is. And so there's going to be every knife in the drawer brought out, sharpened, and aimed at him, and that's what's going on. And it really disgusts me when attacks come this way, and they get published with anonymous sources, because it's sort of defying that basic American principle that you get to face your accusers. Well, you can't face an accuser that you don't know, and it's very frustrating. And having been through this for nearly 20 years as a public official and as a candidate for various offices over the years, there's nothing that's more frustrating than having to answer allegations from a ghost.
Yeah, and you raise ghosts on Halloween. I mean, it's just so ironic, right, or perfectly timed that this happens on Halloween, where now you hear Karl Rove. It's like Herman Cain might as well be accused of being an axe murderer. The way Karl Rove sounds like just it's over. Very. Oh, he's got an answer. I mean, it's just been like 24 hours, okay? And I might act like this like 3 weeks later. And they've denied the allegations. As his campaign spokesman, these are baseless allegations. To my knowledge, this is not an accurate story. This is unnamed sources and so forth. And I said this earlier, Governor. This is why people don't go into politics at a time when our country needs strong leadership. And I'm not coming out for anyone. I'm not endorsing Cain. I'm not endorsing Romney. I'm not endorsing any of these guys. These guys have to win me over. That's how I'm looking at this. But we definitely need more people in the mix, not fewer. And these types of lame, unsubstantiated attacks are precisely why so many folks that I know in business, and business deals with this stuff all the time. Employee problems, come on. What big business hasn't had to deal with disgruntled employees? It's what happens. But these people don't want to go into politics because of these types of sickening hits.
If you live a life for any length of time and you manage people, whether it's in government or business or wherever it may be, even in a nonprofit world, there are going to be conflicts with personalities. You're going to have to fire people at some point. People you fire are not going to be quoted in the newspaper as saying, gee, he was the most wonderful guy, and I really appreciate him firing me. I remember 4 years ago there was some junk in Newsweek, and Newsweek was just all too delighted to go out and find a consultant that I had fired who had virtually wrecked a campaign of mine and get some quotes, went out and dug up an old story that was totally untrue about my son. And, you know, it still to this day haunts him and follows him. And it's stuff like that that's so frustrating. And I think we all need to remember that an allegation is not a fact. People can allege that I'm secretly a zombie and that I'm not seen in daylight very often because, you know, I can't handle the sun, so therefore I sleep in a casket all day. An allegation does not mean that that's true. And what's at this point out there is an allegation. It's almost 20 years old from people who apparently had conflicts with Herman Cain. If it's such a real deal, how come they didn't bring it up before? You know, I always wonder when people say that, you know, my conscience got to me, did their conscience just light up after 20 years and only when a guy was running for president? If a person really thought that there was something incredibly improper, the time to have dealt with it is then, not 20 years later.
No, it's just I mean, it's the same deal, right? I mean, the same Anita Hill calling Justice Thomas to have come speak at her university. I mean, keeping in touch, and then suddenly you get your little, you know, attempted fame, and you can suddenly have a life that you never had before, and suddenly, oh, I was offended by this, and this was outrageous, and I was offended. I'm so sick of people saying, I'm offended. You know, I'm offended at pretty much every men's magazine cover I see on the newsstand. I walk with my children, and I see the cover of Maxim or Men's Fitness. It's always something that sexually suggests. I'm offended. You know, but that's the way of the world now. The world assaults us with in our sensibilities. If we are have traditional values and so forth, we're always offended. No one cares about the fact that we're offended. You know what we're told? Get used to it. That's the world. We're not supposed to say anything.
And Laura, we create a lot of offenses, and I think that's the excuse. When people don't have a legitimate argument, when they don't have a point of view that they can defend, then they manufacture this sense of, gee, I'm really hurt and offended, and you owe me an apology.
You disrespected me. Oh, please.
I was going to say, grow up or get out of the game. This is big boy stuff here. And, you know, the fact is that we've got to play with the issues. But this stuff that's been thrown at Herman Cain and has been and will be thrown at other candidates is especially disheartening because it does reflect the very worst of American politics, and it shows why that many people, and it's not just about people not getting involved to run for office. This is why a lot of voters our would-be voters just turn it all off. And I think it's one reason why a guy like Barack Obama can get elected, because people aren't paying attention to once it gets to just pure noise. And then they one day, real close to the election, listen to a guy make a speech, and they say, gee, I like the way he talks. You have no idea what he's done, what his background or qualification is, but you go vote for him. And the voters who really don't decide until the end, they're the ones who swing the elections. Hardcore Republicans vote Republican. Hardcore Democrats vote Democrat. The election is decided by that relatively small group of people who, right close to election time, base it on something they've heard on television or read in the paper just before they vote.
Hey, Governor, do you think there's a realistic possibility that this information came from another Republican campaign?
I would almost guarantee that it did, because quite frankly, knowing some of the reporters involved, they're not that good. And people who are in campaigns, typically, when they've got enough money to do it, they will hire investigators, opposition researchers. They will dig through everything. We had people that went to my kids' schools when they were in elementary school, posing as federal inspectors for the FAA, And it was, I mean, bizarre stuff. People go through your trash. I know you hear this stuff and think it's not true. I've lived it, and I can promise you it is true. It's insane. But one of the fundamental things that a candidate will spend money on is when they spend money on Oppo research.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, who stands to benefit from this? I mean, I can think of two campaigns right off the bat. Perry, who's getting edged out in his own state by Kaine in the latest poll, and Romney, who's probably just doesn't want to have to deal with this anymore. I mean, I'm just saying, if you have to make a list, if you're a detective, this is what you do. I'm not saying anyone necessarily did it, but you just have to make the list and check it twice. Governor, we've been told apparently there's some type of fire in our building, so we have to probably wrap this up, I guess. I mean, I always work through the fire, but I guess they tell me we have to wrap it up. But one final question before the flames actually come through the door. One final question: do you think there's still time for another person to get into this race, given that 59% of Iowans say they could be swayed by a new candidate getting in? Do you think it's too late?
Well, the problem now is ballot access. Today closes out New Hampshire, and you're now looking at the legal issues of can you even get on the ballot. So that's going to be the problem. One other thing, Laura, before I go, and I know you've got to run, I didn't start that fire. I don't want that rumor out there. So just know I'm so many miles from you. I didn't do it.
Oh, we love you, Gov. We wish you were in this race, though. I mean, come on. You've got to have some regrets. You be in this race. You can tear it up out there. I got so many people emailing me. Mike Huckabee, thank you so much for joining us. We'll watch you this weekend, as always.
Great, Laura. Thanks.
All right, take care of yourself. All right, do I have a flame retardant coat on? Apparently they say the power is going to be cut. Talk about drama. They don't even want us to get the questioning of the story out today. This is all a little too convenient, this fire, timed for my defense of Herman Cain. We're going to take a break. If the fire comes through the door, we won't be back. Otherwise, you'll hear something interesting here.
The Laura Ingraham Show.